The last type of connection we're going to talk about is one called a driven key. A driven key can also be considered an animation tool, and they're a little weird. They take a little bit of extra setup, but when you use them properly, they're really very powerful. So let's say I know it's going to be a random concept, but let's say that when I move this arrow, I want the box to move a certain amount in response. To start my driven key setup, I'm actually going to come to my attribute editor, and in my object node, there's this limit information. I want to limit the translate of this arrow, so I'm going to set the minimum to where it is right now at 0, and let's set the maximum to maybe 3. And that's it. That's the only attribute that I want to use. I just want the arrow to move from there to there. And you can see that limiting the information will indeed stop it from moving any further. I will head back to my channel box and take all of those other channels. In my right-click menu, I'm going to lock and hide them so that I don't have to worry about them at all. Now, when this moves, what I want to happen is I want this box to maybe translate and rotate a little bit. So I will take this arrow curve, take its translate X attribute, and again, in the edit menu, there is this set driven key. The set driven key window opens with 4 areas: the driver, which is the thing that's going to be in charge, and the driven, which is the thing that is going to be controlled. The driver is this arrow, so I'm going to go ahead and load driver. The driven is this cube, so I'm going to go ahead and load driven. Next to each object, I have its available attributes. So I'm going to link translate X to translate Y. So when I move the arrow, the cube is going to move up. This is the origin. This is where I want my animation to start. So I will key this here. Then I will take the arrow, slide it along to its maximum point. I will take the cube and slide that up to its maximum point. And then I will hit this key button here. Just as simple as that. Now when I move the arrow back and forth, you'll see that the cube moves to correspond to the position of the arrow as to the points that I personally set. I could keep going, and maybe I will get some rotates in there. Again, I will key at the origin. I will move the arrow up to its top point, and then let's go crazy and rotate all fancy ways. And then I'll say key again, and now as I move, the cube will spin. You see this kind of thing happen in 2 places. One is in facial rigging, because in facial rigging a lot of people like to have bar controls where, a bar moves to a certain point and that causes the eyebrow to wiggle. The other place you see it a lot is in hard surface rigging, where let's say you want a gun to recoil to a certain degree. It might not have to go this far all the time, but you want it to have the ability to go this far, and maybe other times it only needs to do that kind of motion. So you can capture these big and small motions, and you give yourself a little bit of a range. So driven keys take a little bit of setup, and they have this weird window where you have to press this key button to set what is essentially a basic animation that is driven by the animation of another object. It's a little complex. I hope we get to do some this term. I'm not sure we will, but I want you to be aware of it just because it can be really powerful for you. I hope that made sense. I know sometimes the first couple of times you look at a driven key, it doesn't, and sometimes it clicks right away. So I hope that it has clicked for you. In case you're curious, if you ever need to edit a driven key, you can do that through your old friend, the graph editor, Once my graph editor loads, if I select my box, you'll see that I have all of these animation curves here. There's translate Y, rotate X, rotate Y, rotate Z. So these do exist as animation curves. They're just not immediately accessible to you because they're being animated by another object. So that's Driven Keys. I hope all of that made sense, and I hope we get to use them so that you can see how powerful they are.